Hello everybody and happy St. Patty's Day. Even though I'm not really quite sure what exactly the snakes did to St. Patrick to deserve his wrath. But anyway, happy St. Patty's Day. Happy Irish, yay. I just want to go over what has happened with my internship for the past 3 days, just because I meant to vlog about it, and I haven't really gone into anything, after the first vlog. I really wanted to. On Tuesday they had me in editorial again, and as you can tell, my head cold is totally getting better. It's awesome! Tuesday they had me in editorial again, and I finished filing all that stuff that I had started filing on Monday. Yeah, and I also worked on some, rights and permissions stuff. So, say an author, wanted to put some text into his or her written work, and it's from one of our books, and they need to ask for our permission to put that text into the book. And if it's less than 500 words, it's free. But if it's more than that, you have to pay for it. Then there are also things like, since it's a Catholic printing press, it's multi-faith, but say we have a religious order write-in, or somebody doing a program for the homeless, or for people who need food, a soup kitchen, or in one case it was somebody who was working a program for people with families in prison. Basically, if they ask to use some of our texts in maybe a seminar or something, we can say, it's free to use, due to given the nature of your purpose and stuff like that. So that was interesting, and that's pretty much what I did yesterday. I mean, Tuesday. I don't really know if I really did much. I mailed some stuff out. I made some shipping labels. Didn't really do much on Tuesday. I think I didn't really get a good view of the editorial part. I don't really know if I really got a good look into it. Yesterday and today, I was in production. Production is absolutely fascinating, and I really love it. And I think it's because the woman who brought me around, who was in charge of production, she basically kind of took me to work with and see some of the other people in production. So I kind of got a better look at everything, and they had each prepared little exercises for me to do in the different stages of production. And by production, I mean making a book. After editorial has accepted a manuscript and say that it's okay for them, they're going to publish it, they're actually going to publish it. Basically, the author sends a manuscript, and it goes through the editorial process. I have a piece of paper that says the actual full process, but basically it's editing the text, copy editing, and that goes through several drafts and proofreading and tagging it, putting it on a computer. And part of that is tagging it on a computer so that not only can it go into publishing to become a book, but it can also become an ebook. Because once we have a file with everything that a typesetter or a printer needs to know, you can put it multiple ways, so it doesn't just have to be a paper book. It can be an ebook, and they're trying to get more into ebooks now. So that was really cool to see. Yesterday I also got a short look into, how they basically different drafts. They usually have 2 drafts or proofs before they put it out, and proofreading, copy editing, I was talking with the copy editor, Susan O'Keefe, who is actually a published author of, I believe, 20 books now. One of which is called Frankenstein's Monster, and it's a sequel to Frankenstein, which I think is freaking amazing because I loved that book. Shelley's Frankenstein. So I definitely was like, oh my god, I'm so gonna give your book a read because that's awesome. And as a writer to a writer, she gave me a lot of advice. And it was just really cool to sit down with an actual writer who has been published and kind of bond over that and the writing experience. And she gave me a lot of advice, like, just do it. Like, just set a half hour to an hour for yourself to be creative and draw or write or do what you want to do. And she's like, and I better hear from you in a year saying that you've at least put something out there. And I just thought that was amazing. And it was very inspiring. It was also interesting to hear how she has been on both sides of the desk, meaning has said when she's a copy editor, she hates writers, and when she's a writer, she hates copy editors. Yeah, we also bonded over our ability to twitch when we see bad spelling and bad grammar. But I had a little exercise in copy editing, and it was a lot harder than I thought, but also there were a few things that bothered me in the manuscript that she had, given me to practice with. Copy of one. She's doing the actual copy editing. I was just looking over a copy of one just to see how it is. And she's going to just kind of look over it and see how I did and kind of compare her notes to mine. So hopefully that will be tomorrow. She'll kind of get back to me on that. I did a lot. I did a lot yesterday. A lot more than I did in editorial. I don't know if that's just because editorial I was just working with one person, or if maybe production was more organized. I do not know, but I did a lot in production. I helped Teresa look over a book that had come back from the printer, and it was a children's counting book. So she was making sure that all the illustrations looked nice, the title page was there, all the text looked okay, and then she basically then sends it back to the printer saying, okay, this can be published. Yesterday I also proofread a children's book, and I did the actual proofreading. So they are probably going to she's also going to look over it, the person I'm working with, Teresa. But it was really cool to actually be given the job to be like, okay, make sure this manuscript matches what's in this proof, and if anything seems off, query it, which basically means write hey, this is different, is this okay? And if it's not in the style sheet, what's going on here. So especially in the beginning, the style sheet, which is basically saying certain things that the typesetters said that since this was a children's book that I proofread, that some important phrases or words would be italicized. And in the book, there were 2 words that were bolded and italicized, but everything else that seemed important was italicized, so I queried it, and I was like, why are these bolded and everything else is italicized? And I also caught a spelling error that the copy editor didn't realize, and Teresa was like, what? A+! And it was in the proof, and it was in the manuscript. So, in that sense, it wasn't wrong, but it was supposed to be a picture, and the picture was something it was supposed to be have you ever done such and such and such? And both of them said, have you every, Every, and I was like, ever? Editor's note? I don't think it's supposed to be have you every. I think that's a little off. Yeah, so that was kind of funny. That was fun. What else did I do yesterday? It seemed like the time went so fast. Um, and I'm really enjoying it there. I really, really am. But this is running long, so I'll continue my day in a new vid. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, guys. Next video.